Happy New Year, everybody. I hope that your 2025 is starting off to be fabulous. I wish you so many beautiful memories this year. I wish you good health, and I wish you so much love all year long. I am asking if you are a person of faith, though, just to take a moment and lift the people of New Orleans and those impacted by the evil act here on January 1st up in your prayers. Some of those people were from outside of the New Orleans area, and some of them were from here. But the city of New Orleans is definitely mourning this week. And although I want to keep my channel happy and light and positive, it's also a channel about being real. We talk about real issues here. We talk about things that we face as we get to be a certain age, and sometimes loss is one of those things, and tragedy is sometimes one of those things. So although we're going to pivot and we're going to do a full review on this new beautiful release by Tom Ford and the new mascara by HAUS Labs and a few other things, I just would be remiss if I did not ask you guys to just take a moment to pray for those impacted by the evil that occurred here this week. Our hearts have been heavy. There are people that have lost people that they loved that are not coming home. There are people that are still fighting for their health. And there are also those family members that have not heard back from a loved one since they left to go celebrate for New Year's Eve. And unfortunately, I think that some of those people that are still missing are probably those that have not been identified at area hospitals that sadly may have succumbed to this tragedy. So please pray for all of those involved, whether they're here or whether they're far. Love is the only thing that can conquer these kinds of things. Love conquers hate in every instance. So please, if you are a person of faith, join me in praying for all those impacted. Now, I am going to share with you this Tom Ford limited edition rose exposed quad. I am not a big Tom Ford fan. I always believe that you can get beautiful looks for less, and I still do, but yet there's something a little bit special about this unspecial color story that I'd like to share with you. And I'd also like to tell you about the HAUS Labs new mascara, which is Be Structural. It's a volumizing and lengthening mascara that is also good for you. It has good for you ingredients to help the quality of your lashes. It's got rice protein in it and panthenol and other ingredients to help the health of your lashes over time. So we're gonna see how this holds up against my other favorites, and we're gonna circle back on a couple of other products in this video. So if that sounds good, stick with me. We're about to get right into it. So I'm Mona, I'm 54 from South Louisiana, and my channel is primarily for the more mature woman. Everybody's welcome here, but my content is geared towards solutions and things that we can do to enhance our lives after we reach perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause times, when things are a little saggier, a little baggier, a little more lined. And while I am definitely grateful for every day that I get, there are changes that I have made in my routine to just help enhance the way I feel at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, with products that I use. So let's get into this video. So Tom Ford has released the Rose Exposed Limited Edition Quad. This just looks like the perfect Valentine's Day story. I'm always drawn to berry colors and rose colors, and I think that this quad is kind of what I hoped that the Roxa palette would be. So if you're like me and you like purplish tones, berry tones, but you like them to be really wearable everyday looks, you may be interested in this quad. You have this dark color right here that is kind of a berry grape color with a brown undertone, and it is like a satin matte. And then you have a gold color mixed in, which I thought was a really good combination in this quad. These two pair so beautifully together. And then you have this light pink shimmer, which is really pretty and obviously goes with the color story. And then you have this light color. This is probably the most interesting shade in the palette. It is a shimmer, and it's kind of a light pink, which looks basic at first glance, but it actually has some blue purple reflex in it. Certain ways that I turn this when I've been wearing it, you can see a light blue reflect like micro glitter. It's not a glitter that's going to be all over your face. You may have a dot of fallout here or there with a glitter particle, but it has got the most beautiful slight reflect, and I think that it definitely adds some interest to this quad. Now, it came embossed, as you can see, with a beautiful luxe design. It's got the TF on it, so that means that this is a wet to dry formula. All of Tom Ford's wet to dry formulas have imprinted TFs on them. The ones that don't are just dry formulas. The ones that have the TF imprinted on the pan, those can be used wet or they can be used dry. So let's look at the 4 swatches. It's the satin matte, the pretty gold, and the pink shimmer. Okay, we're going to get into 2 looks with this quad, and I am going to also show you the HAUS Labs new mascara. What I have on my face is I have the new reformulated Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Natural Dewy from their Tinted Moisturizer line, which also has blushes and bronzers and matte and natural finishes. I am enjoying the new formulation. I think that it lasts a little bit longer, and it was reformulated to have more skin care ingredients in it. It feels good on my skin, but I would love to know if anybody has a more affordable dupe of this that gives you some blurring, your skin but better, moisturizing, hydrating, and SPF, especially if it has more SPF. I like to wear a tinted SPF, but I have a hard time finding a tinted SPF that's light enough for my fair skin. This one has shades that meet my needs as far as light, and also it just glides on and hydrates all day long. So when I'm not going out, I prefer to wear a product like this. Let's get into this eye look. So I'm going to start on one eye with this gold shade, and I'm going to put it in my crease. I really like this color in this color story. So without this, I mean, that is a color story that you see everywhere all the time, right? And definitely you have a goldish shade in your collection, but I like them together, and I don't know that I would have thought to pair them together. So I'm going to go in my crease. I know my hair is a mess. I'm due to go to the hairdresser tomorrow. My bangs are too long. My layers have kind of grown out, and no matter how much I flat iron it or curl it, it's just not staying in place. I'm using my Way hair oil, and that's helping tame it, but it's not taming it totally. So look how pretty that is. Pigmented, easy to blend. I like this shade. This would be a good one and done over your lid or every day. Now we're going to punch it up with this dark. I have a little bug flying in front of my face. Ugh. So one downfall of living on the swamp or the bayou is bugs. Gnats, just every kind of little bug you could imagine probably lives out here somewhere. In fact, in New Orleans, we have the Audubon Zoo, and the Audubon Zoo has an insectarium, like an insect section of their zoo. Those people come here to collect specimens. Yeah, not in my house, but outside in my backyard. So anyway, let's go in with this darker color. This is, I've heard some people say this was a shimmer. This is a satin matte, in my opinion. This does not have a lot of shimmer. So just like that, beautiful. Just a little accentuation of the outer V with that dark color. You can build this up to be bolder, or you can blend it out to be lighter. we're gonna go in right inside of that color with this shade, this golden shade right here. I'm gonna take that right there as well. But then I'm gonna apply that shimmer on top of it, the one that's the most shimmery, with some little specks of micro glitter, just the tiniest little specks of micro glitter. I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna apply it here. This shade has some beautiful blue reflex in it. The little micro glitters look blue to me. So I think that's pretty. So I'm gonna go in the inner corner with this rose color. Just gonna use the other side of my brush. That's it. It's a simple but beautiful look. I'm going to just apply a little bit of brown liner. I'm going to go in with the Stilo Ombre Contour by Chanel. This is shade 34. And I'm just going to add just a little bit of definition. And I'm going to take that on my upper lid as well. I'm going to take this little Sonia G brush. This is the flat definer brush. And I'm just going to wipe it across this Chanel liner, and I'm going to drag it across. Because I just want to keep it very close to my lash line. And then I'm going to smudge it out on the bottom. Or poke myself in the eye. So I think this is really pretty. Is it worth the price? You know, that's something only you can decide. This is a quad that called my name. Even though the color story is not original, it looks like a Valentine's Day palette. I tend to gravitate to neutrals, everyday wearable looks. This is sort of the color of purple I would have wanted in the Roxa palette. So on this eye, right here, I'm going to sweep all across with this rose, pink color. Just enough to make my blue eyes pop and brighten those eyes. You could use any one of these as a one and done, although I wouldn't pay this price for a one and done shadow. And then I'm going to go in the outer V of this one with the gold color. This has more shimmer than the purple brownish color. That one is definitely more matte. This has some sparkle, but not a lot. I think it still works good for an outer V color. I think that's really pretty. So you can definitely build it up for more intensity. So I think it makes a perfect outer V color. So you have two colors that can go in your outer V. So you do have some versatility with this palette. And then I'm going to take this shimmer again, and I'm going to pat it on the center lid. And then I'm going to take the fluffy side of this, and I'm just going to go in to that. Actually, I'm going to go into the pink, and I'm just going to blend with this color. Bringing it a little bit under the brow bone. Softening up the edge of that coppery gold shade. What do you think? I can say that these are so beginner friendly. I don't think that you could mess these up. And for somebody like me, it is very easy to mess up a look. So the one thing I can say about a quad like this is that even if you have very basic makeup skills, you can still create a very beautiful look without any effort. So let's apply a little bit of liner to this eye. I'm gonna go in with a Revant liner, and this is in a gray color. Again, just trying to stay very close to my lash line. I'm gonna take it right here. And then I'm going to smudge that out a little bit with that shape. Actually, I grabbed a different brush. I was going to say the same Sonia G brush, but I'll grab the different one. So I think that's pretty too. Let's try on the mascara. So HAUS Lab says that this is volumizing, lengthening, and that it contains panthenol, and that it contains good for you ingredients that are going to nourish your lashes. Look at the way the wand is. It's a little bit unique. I can tell you that I've been using this one every day since it came in, so I definitely have my thoughts on it already. And I can tell you that it's not a dry formula. However, unlike the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize, which would hit my upper eyes every time I used it, this does not. It still provides a lengthening, it still provides volume. You can build it a good bit before it starts to clump, but it's not requiring me to wipe anything off. Now, the Charlotte Tilbury did do that, but I really liked the mascara, and that was because once I applied it, even though it would typically transfer up here on application, as soon as it dried, I could just spoolie it off and it would not transfer ever again, and it did not smudge or flake the whole day. But this one doesn't do it at all, not even on application. I don't know if it's the formula or if it's the wand shape, but it gives me the same length and the same volume without making any mess. So for the same price, $29, I definitely like this formula better. I think HAUS Labs has done a great job with this mascara. Now, is it going to condition my lashes over time? I don't know. I will tell you that, of course, the tube is not as heavy as the glass packaging by Charlotte Tilbury. And although it's nice to get pretty packaging, I'm more interested in what's in the package. So for me, this mascara is turning out to be really nice. You can see just like with one basic coat, the difference between this eye and this eye. This also comes off really easy with, your favorite balm or oil cleanser. I don't have to tug. It actually comes off a little easier than the Charlotte Tilbury. I don't have to rub as much or soak it as long. And maybe that's because of the emollients in it to make your lashes healthier. But it's really easy to come off. There are plenty of drugstore mascaras that are great, so you do not need to spend $29 on a mascara, but I can tell you I'm extremely pleased with this mascara. I love the way it makes my lashes look. I love that it doesn't transfer when I'm applying it, that it doesn't flake during the day, that it doesn't smudge during the day, and that it does last the whole day. But then when I'm ready to take it off, it is so easy to come off. Because at my age, I don't want to be tugging and rubbing too much on these old wrinkled up fragile eyes. So I think HAUS Labs knocked it out the park with this formula. Yep, loving it, loving it, loving it. I think that I have enjoyed the quad. The funny thing is, I just, I don't gravitate towards Tom Ford. I think as a rule, Tom Ford is very overpriced. And normally I don't pick up everything that he releases or almost anything that he releases. I do have a couple of other quads by him. I have his foundation stick. I have lipsticks. I have things by him, but I don't usually find myself reaching for them. This one, there's something about it from the time that I saw the color story, and I have a couple of his other rose inspired quads, but I think it was the addition of this goldish color next to this that really did it. And then when I saw how pretty this sparkle was, we just do some swatches right here. Look. Then this one. Then the gold one. Then the purplish brown one. And that's your color story. And I think it's so pretty. I know that I'm gonna wear this a lot. It's just the ease of use for me for this palette. With me not having any makeup skills to talk of, I can just put this on, and every single time I have a pretty, wearable, everyday look that's easy to blend. I don't look in the mirror 2 hours later and say, oh, you should have blended that eyeshadow better there, or no, I don't have that. But yet, if I want to build this up and I want to do a smoky eye, you know, you can definitely intensify this purple or the gold, and you can definitely smoke it out. So, I mean, if you're looking for pigment, can you get pigment with this palette? You can get pigment with this palette. I mean, I can clean that out. So you can go bold and dramatic. This Rephr Shoto 03 brush is perfect for blending it out, softening the edges with these little wispy tendrils. Take a little bit more of that shimmer. And if you pick up that shimmer wet, you can have even more intensity for the shimmer. So I would give this a thumbs up. You definitely don't need it. You don't need to spend that much, but the color story is my jam. The formula is my jam, and I'm gonna be enjoying it. And it's not something I would splurge on all the time. I'm not gonna pick up every one of his releases, but I am definitely enjoying this one. Another expensive formula that I like is YSL. I do like their shadows too. Like YSL's, and I like the Dior Monos, those Dior Mono colors. How does this compare to, say, you know, the shimmers in Patrick Ta, the Patrick Ta duos? I think that those are more sparkly and those are more intense even than the Sensor Shadow. But together this works, and I'm really enjoying it. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you tuning in. I am hoping, again, that all of you are having a wonderful new year. And my next video should be my faves and fails for December. And I can't wait to show you some of those. I've got some very unique products to share with you. Makeup products, and I have a few amazing finds. I bought my son a gift for Christmas that he requested, and then when I saw him use it, then I wanted one, so I got one for myself, and that is turning out to be something that all of you may want. Anyway, thank you for being with me. Take some time to pray for the people of New Orleans if you're still here and you are a person of faith. I appreciate you being here. If you are looking for a new mascara, I would definitely consider picking up this HAUS Labs one. This is definitely a winner. The packaging is pretty simple. See you in the next video. Bye. Everyone's not